Hey friends, my reflection today is going to be fairly short. I have a book recommendation for you. The book is called The Power of Ritual. Oh boy, that might be backwards on your screen. It's by Casper ter Kuile. It just came out this spring. I'll tell you why I'm recommending it. Casper ter Kuile is a podcast host. You've maybe heard me speak before about one of the podcasts that I listen to. It's called Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. It's a podcast that reads through chapter by chapter all 7 of the Harry Potter books, not assuming that they are holy. It's not replacing the Bible with Harry Potter, but it's reading the Harry Potter with reading practices that are often used with sacred literature, right? So Vanessa Zoltan is a secular Jewish woman who brings a Jewish perspective to it. Casper ter Kuile is an Anglican, and so he has that perspective. But they both met at Harvard Divinity School. And Casper's research while he was there was on the changing dynamics of community and spiritual communities in the United States, especially with younger generations. Most of us know, all of us know, that the face of the church is changing. The percentage of people who claim a affinity or an identity with a particular religion or certainly denominations has declined a lot, especially in younger generations. And Casper kind of digs into what are they doing, because while studies show that church attendance is down 50% over the last 40 or 50 years, that the percentage of people who claim to be spiritual or to have some sort of religious beliefs has only declined by about 10%. So there's this gap, that group we call the spiritual but not religious. So how are they expressing that spirituality? And that's what he's digging into here. The illustration he starts with in his introduction talks about CrossFit, right, and how this exercise routine, the purpose of CrossFit being fitness and exercise, really almost gets superseded by the community element, something that's very intentional in how they do their work, right? How that company is structured. Community is at the heart of it. And he talks about how people that he interviewed and leaders of CrossFit that he interviewed for his research would just, would have experiences where when someone would have a baby, that they would have showers for them, right? They would have life or transition in life ceremonies for each other. That when members of their community died, that they held ceremonies for them. That in many ways, the CrossFit instructor took on this semi-clergy role for the people, asking, hey, should I divorce my spouse, was one of the stories that he talks about. Asked to a CrossFit trainer, why is it that CrossFit can become that community for people? That's what he digs into. And he talks about how people who are not interested in a traditional church or congregational affiliation can become more well-rounded in their spirituality by introducing different types of rituals into their routine. So, to be clear, this is a recommendation for people outside the congregational realm, but the reason I recommend it is because it gives a terrific insight into the world of spirituality that, by virtue of many of us being involved in a congregation, we don't see. It's the people who don't walk through our doors. And how are they finding meaning? I don't even necessarily recommend this as a way of coming to understand how we can get people back into our doors. That's really not the purpose of it. I think it speaks to the sort of inherent needs that we as people have, and how the church isn't always the best space to live out some of those needs. So maybe if anything, it's how we can complement one another, or reclaim as a church some of the roles that we have traditionally have and have maybe not done such a good job tending to over the decades. Again, the book is The Power of Ritual by Casper ter Kuile. It's on Amazon. It's on Half Price Books. It's in a lot of spaces. So I would recommend, if you theoretically are having a lot of downtime or not out and about all that much for some reason or another. If you have some time to do some reading, I would recommend this book highly. And if you do read it, let me know. I'd love to get your thoughts. Take good care, all.